You know, there used to be a time when there was a line that we did not cross as people. You know, no matter how much you loved or hated someone, there were just certain morals that we had that we said, you know what, here's a line and you're not going to cross it. Even mobsters and gangsters knew that there was a line, and most of the time that line is family.
Because a man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man.
You don't mess with someone's family, no matter how much you love or hate someone. Don't bring people into it that had nothing to do with it. And if you just go after someone's family, that makes you one of the worst people on the face of this earth. And nowadays, it's like that has just went out the window. And specifically, I want to talk about the Charlie Kirk situation. This is something that's been weighing on my mind for months. And I've been wanting to be vocal about it. And then when I go to do it, I'm like, nah, because I really don't want to deal with the noise or the blowback from it, because it's just such a divisive time in our political realm and just in all of life, man. I mean, social media is just so toxic. I know that word is so overused now, toxic, but it's true. It really is. I took a break from social media. I was gone for a couple of months, and then when I came back for just a little bit, and I went on X. It's the one I use the least. Not that I'm not a fan of it. I'm glad Elon bought it and got free speech back. Many of you, if you're not a content creator, might not know, there for a while it was getting to where you couldn't hardly say anything without them, trying to censor you. And since Elon bought Twitter, it's gotten much better. However, I got on there, and within 5 or 10 minutes, I mean, it was that short of a time, guys, the amount of conspiracy theories that I saw regarding Charlie's assassination, it was crazy. Some of them like fully animated and drawed out, plan by plan, or this person with this hand signal, or this person grabbing his hat, and it went on and on and on. And it's like, okay, hold up. This is already a tragedy here. Can we not have any event happen in this generation where conspiracies don't get attached to it? It is like the world is starving for conspiracy, or for there to be something more behind things.
Because the conspiracy is the battle cry of the person with insufficient data. Until they produce sufficient data, they gotta claim this.
Don't get it. Maybe. I know true crime is a big thing now, and mysteries and movies, and there's got to be something more behind it. Wait for the surprise, wait for the conclusion. I don't know if that in entertainment has kind of gotten the climate out there kind of in that, mood, but it seems like that's where it always tends to go. I think there's more behind this. I think there's more behind this.
If there's evidence that points against it, they have to invoke a conspiracy to keep believing what they want. And
the one that's really bothering me now, and the reason I'm bringing all this up is, I guess it's been, what, three months? I don't know exactly. I would say around 3 months since Charlie was assassinated. I'll never forget where I was and what I was doing. One day, maybe I'll be able to talk about it. But my secretary texted me, and she said, Eric, Charlie Kirk was shot. And she had actually been with me at a couple of those events where I got to go set up at Charlie's events, and he allowed me to do media there. And so she knew that was something I would want to know. And I was like, what? Do you know anything else? She was like, no, I just know he got shot. So I instantly went, and started trying to look it up.
We have a witness now who's joining us by phone. His name is Justin Hickens. He apparently was at the scene of the shooting. Justin, what did you see? What did you hear?
And that's when the videos started coming in. And I saw about 5 or 6 different videos. And even that, that's how things get fueled up. Every one of those videos looked like something different. One made it look like he got shot here. One made it look like he got shot here. And so, obviously trying to be hopeful. I'm hoping like maybe, it didn't get anything. And then the final video that I saw, I wish I would not have seen it. It was one where it was up close, and it, showed the shot, and I knew then. I was like, no, there's no way. I knew, even though everybody was waiting to hear some good news, you just knew.
It is my great dishonor to be the person that says this and breaks this to you on television, but President Donald Trump is announcing on Truth Social, the great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead.
Same thing. Could you imagine if we would have actually been able to see JFK like that? out of all the assassinations that have happened, JFK, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, this one was different because we got this technology. And unfortunately, there's a lot of kids and there's a lot of people out there that saw that assassination. And I wish I wouldn't have seen it. But that all happened because of this political climate. And I just made that post last week about how I'm so sick of everything being about politics and race. I am. It has just brought out the worst in this world. It really has. Everything's about politics. Everything's about race. But I'll tell you something, guys. If you'll turn off this phone and you'll get off of social media and you'll get off that TV and not watch that damn news and just get out in the real world, yes, every so often you're going to see examples of it in the real world, but not like you do every day, all day long, every day on social media or on the news. It doesn't exist like that. They program that in your heads so often, and you're seeing, this one event that happened in this part of the country, and then the whole country's watching that, making it look like it's a whole big problem when it's really not. It was, right here. And, we really need to sit back and reflect, guys, because, I realize what I'm about to say right now is an unpopular approach, unpopular take. I think it's sad, and it's very depressing to me that it is unpopular. And it's that people need to leave Erika alone.
When you say you believe that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by someone close to him, what do you mean?
I think that in the coming weeks, there's going to be a lot of financial reports that are coming out. And I, first and foremost, do not believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk.
And let me tell you why. You don't know what it's like to walk a mile in that girl's shoes. It is so easy for you to sit on the other side of that screen when all you are is a person sitting on a couch or doing whatever you're doing during the day and then putting down whatever conspiracy theory it is in the comments. You're not the one having to go to those little girls or those kids and tell them that their dad's dead, or feed them or bathe them, put them to bed at night. You're not the one having to get up on that stage in front of the whole world with all those cameras pointed on you after you just lost your spouse and try to give a speech without breaking down. I do not envy her one bit whatsoever. I'd never really heard of Erika before Charlie's assassination, and I had met her. The day that I interviewed Charlie, that was one of the first things. He's like, I just got married. Here's my wife. She was, I don't know if she remembers this, but she was there at our booth while I was interviewing Charlie. And then even again during the interview, I think at one point, he said, there's my wife right there, actually.
Now, Charlie, you're a newlywed. So
yes.
What are some of the concerns that you had about...
Right there.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
He was so proud of his wife, and he was showing her off that whole day, and that was something that stuck with me. And that was who he chose to be his wife. And 31 years old, whether you agreed with him or disagreed, whether you liked or you disliked him, one thing I respected, I've got some very far left friends, like very, very far left friends that will just argue, and they think Trump is the worst thing on the face of this earth, okay? But even they, I saw when that happened, got on there and just said, this is not the way we do it, guys. This is disgusting. And that Charlie should not have had to go through this. And I'm going to tell you, it made me think a lot of them, because I know how much they disliked him, but it was class, I think any type of political violence is wrong. I'm just not one for violence, period. But, I think there was some violence towards the left. It was in Minnesota or something not long ago. I don't care who it is, it's wrong. We need to stop it with the violence. And when division starts getting to this point, I think the thing that makes it so sad is Charlie wanted to give the world a microphone and they wanted to give him a casket. But out of all these different conspiracy theories, I was made aware now, I guess there's a conspiracy theory that Erika Kirk is John Benet Ramsey. See where I'm getting at, guys? And it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. People's hunger, the appetite for that. Oh, she's not grieving. Did you see the way that she hugged J.D. Vance? Like, look, yes, I don't know what gives people the impression that they are entitled or that they are the person to make judgment on her way of grieving her spouse. I don't know how many of you have lost somebody. Chances are the majority of you have, especially someone close. But everybody grieves different. I remember when my dad passed, That was the closest death to me that I've had to this moment. And, you know, every one of my family, we all grieved it different. I stayed busy. My sister locked herself in her room. My brother was just really silent. My mom was very vocal about it. You know, we all did it differently. But I can still remember also everybody I talked to, like, hey, you can't sit around and cry. You got to get busy. You got to do this. You got to do this. You know, keep yourself going. Make sure you're eating. Make sure you know, and you hear all that. Now I see this girl that actually goes out there and does that. And because she's doing that and not at home, crying, out of breath, it's considered she's doing something wrong, or she was a part of it. Any of those influencers out there that would say they were close with Charlie in that he was their friend, and in the same breath would be out there accusing his spouse.
And he was my best friend and my brother.
No evidence. They never bring any receipts. Just talk. You're not a friend. You don't do that. Not even the people that hate you the most do that. You just don't. You know, at some point in time, if some evidence comes up that says that she was involved in it somehow, absolutely. Like, you need to look into it. It needs to be investigated all the way through. But until that happens, who in the hell gives anyone a right to do that to someone? Seriously. And guys, this is not an unpopular thing. I'm talking about this is a very, very popular thing. And I remember after she hugged J.D. Vance, all the different articles going on there, and him and Usher getting a divorce, and the way she embraced him. And there's just too much political division going on to know what's the truth anymore. I remember when I was growing up, and you'd be checking out at the grocery store line, and you'd see some radical headline and be, Sun article. You knew, oh, that's the tabloid, And but we at least knew this one right here is tabloid. That's not true. Well, you don't have that here. There is a lot of these people that go and put out whatever necessary in order to get the views, guys. The more divisive and the more accusatory and breaking edge that you are, the more people tune into it. It is a very, very popular narrative right now. And if you are fueling your content creation career off of stuff like that, it's going to come back to you. And I would hate to be that person. I really would. Those kids no longer have their father. She no longer has her spouse. I have no idea what I would be doing right now if something happened to my spouse. No idea. She's my everything. I love her. But I also know that she would come back and haunt me and want to kick my butt if I just sat there and didn't do anything. I do not envy her. Charlie, at 31 years old, whether you liked him or you didn't, guys, he built one hell of an organization. I know how hard I've worked. I worked myself to the bone trying to make this back here, and I'm proud of it. And I was nowhere near a turning point. It shocked me my first couple of times going to the Turning Point events to see the magnitude of what Charlie had built in his short time on earth from the age of 18 to 31. 13 years he built that organization that would rival just about any political organization out there. All of the events, top notch, had everything well put together. I mean, it was a sight to behold, guys. And he had a lot of people that depended on him. They depended on that payday. And, when Charlie died, they're like, oh, do we have a job anymore? Where do we go? Are we going to debate anymore? Did we just lose our mission? What's going on? So not only is she fulfilling the role of that, which is a full-time job, obviously, but now she's having to play mother and father because he's no longer there. And, I'll just stop it there. I think it speaks enough for itself. Shame on these people for going out there and doing this. This is, like I said, it's been just weighing on my heart so hard, in thinking about, how hungry people are. If you need conspiracy theory that bad, let's break this down for a second, real quick, because I know, again, it'll be unpopular, and there's people that want to push back. Let's break this down for a second. Is it that big of a stretch of the imagination to think there was some far-left guy that disagreed with everything Charlie was about, that had a dad that had taught him how to use firearms. He had trained him in it, tried to show him how to be a responsible gun owner, that was able to access a place where there was no Secret Service. It was a packed out event. There was a roof that was unsecured, that hadn't been swept by Secret Service like they do for the president. And he was able to get up there and take a shot and kill him. Was it that big of a stretch of an imagination? No. In this political climate, no. They tried to do it to Trump twice last year. They tried to do it to Nick Fuentes. Now Charlie. And then I think they tried it with some of the liberals up there in Minnesota not long ago. And guys, there's, unfortunately, my fear, there's going to be more. And we can either accept that it's just the new truth, oh, there's going to be more because of the way it is, or we could say enough is enough. I can't imagine all of this that's happening right now happening in those first couple of weeks after Charlie was assassinated. People had a little bit more class at that point in time. Now, there was some people that didn't. They were cheering. Let me tell you how sick it actually gets, though, guys, because kids emulate their parents. One of the most popular video games for kids out right now is a video game called Roblox. Any of you parents out there, does that sound familiar? I'm sure your kids have asked you at some point in time, I need some Robux. It's a very popular game where they can create their own game inside of the game. Well, some of those kids have recreated the assassination of Charlie. You could go and assassinate Charlie in the video game. It's sickening. It's so sickening, guys. Like, has it went too far? I'd say so. I'd like to believe that we're better than that. I'd like to believe, no matter what goes on in the world, at the least of things, leave people's family out of it. No, that's where they go, I made a clip not long ago. One of the more popular interviews that happened as of recent was the Nick Fuentes and Piers Morgan interview, where the whole thing was who's going to be the winner, who's going to be the loser. And I don't think that went so good for Piers, to be honest with you. But at one point in time, I think one of the reasons it didn't go good for Piers is he brought up Nick Fuentes' father and started trying to blame Nick's father for making him racist.
Do you think you grew up in a racist environment, that your father was inherently racist, and that thought process moved to you?
Well, I would say it's a new low. I've been attacked for being a racist many times, but to attack my father, to attack my parents based on anecdotes, I would say that's
and Nick told him, he was like, out of all the low things that have ever happened to bring my dad into this, he's not here to defend himself. Which then, like a day or two later, I do believe, he brought up Piers' family on his own show. And it's just like, guys. Your family didn't ask to be brought into this. You know what I mean? Like, stop it. Stop it. I'm okay with you to disagree with me. Perfectly fine. I might learn something from you disagreeing with me. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is these BS scenarios and the people that are getting hurt in the crosshairs. Guys, you are talking to each other already, but actually start listening to people rather than trying to prove them wrong or troll them. There is nothing cool about that, and everybody loses in that situation. Even like that Nick and Piers interview, there was a lot of substance that was supposed to be talked about on there, but all the reaction videos was about who won and who lost. Didn't have nothing to do with substance. And when we're always focused on who's the winner or who's the loser, like go and look up, you can look up stuff on the left or you can look it on the right. Such and such exposes white, woke, liberal professor, such and such, or this Trump-tard, blah, 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 gets exposed. And like the way they title these videos. And the sad thing is about it, they will have so many views and so many people interacting with it because there's a reason that those people are making that content, because there's people that want to consume it. If people weren't consuming it, they wouldn't be making that content. So I'm not about to sit there and blame it on just the content creators. I know there was a lot of people probably upset when one of the main people claiming there was evidence against Erika wasn't able to provide any evidence. and instead just double down and keeps putting on rhetoric out there. And I just, you know, again, if something comes up that shows that there was some evidence that she had something to do in it, I'm sure they're going to investigate it. But there was a lady, she was so proud of herself. She found out that Erika has an ex-boyfriend that was inside a Turning Point. So obviously, guys, connect the dots. She wants him to run it. You know, this was the plan all along. You don't think Charlie knew that? That she had dated someone else there? Charlie's not an immature guy. He's probably like, okay, they dated. Like, it's okay. He's a good guy. I would hope my wife would have, you know, not wanted a not okay guy as a boyfriend before, you know, and they just didn't get along or whatever.
We all know now she was dating a guy named Cabot Phillips who works at Turning Point USA and knew Charlie Kirk back in 2017. Guess who the new guy is going to colleges, talking to kids? You'll never guess.
I'm sure Charlie knew that. I don't know, but nor is it my place to find out. Some of you need to get a life. Nobody's ever told you that. And you need to be told that. If you are getting involved in matters like that and wanting to start conspiracy theories like that, you need to get a life. And I wish Charlie still had his. It's that rhetoric and it's that nonsense that took his life away from him. It's that type of rhetoric and nonsense that took those children's father off of this earth. 2 fatherless kids. An issue that Charlie was very outspoken on. Why he allowed me to go to those events and speak. Because we don't want fatherless children. Go look at the statistics at what happens to kids that grow up fatherless. And now his kids are in that.
Biggest issue is lack of fathers, and no one wants to talk about it.
And it's just so unnecessary. You know, I will forever be thankful to Charlie for that opportunity to go and speak at Turning Point. And we didn't agree on a lot. But then again, I had never walked a mile in Charlie's shoes, but he had never walked a mile in mine. He didn't know what it was like to be a divorced father or to go into the court system and see, you know. And had he been involved in that, I'm sure he would have had much different views. One thing I liked about Charlie is I had seen him evolve over time. And I've seen him be open to saying, hey, I've learned a little bit. There is a lot of more conspiracies out there with him involved too, like Israel, I know is a big one. And like I said, I hope they investigate this thing to the fullest extent. But guys, when there's no substance out there, the last thing we need to do is go around pushing stuff like this, you know. And this is all I know to do. You know, I busted my ass to build this platform. You know, and I'm thankful. There was a lot of places. I started this back in 2019, and it doesn't seem like that long ago. Let me tell you something. I very often feel like, oh man, it's never going to change. It's going to be this way forever. And the men that are in this like father's rights space, I've heard a lot of them say, it's never going to change. It's never going to change. And the laws, there has been some laws that have been changed. I think the culture's got to change before you get real meaningful change with the laws. But let me tell you, there has been some change. You can talk about this conversation with people now.
Men get absolutely destroyed in marriage and in divorce. Financially, when it comes to the kids, women are more likely to get custody.
When I started this, you couldn't. When I would go to events or stuff like that and people ask, like, what is it you guys talk about? Or they would hear you talking about father's rights. In order to be pro-father, everybody thought you had to be anti-mother or that you had to hate women. So anytime I said, yes, I speak up for the dads out there that want rights to their kids. Dads are just as important as moms, and they deserve to be in their life just as much as a mom does. Oh, he hates all women. It's like, are you kidding me? Bruh. You realize I got in the trouble that I did back in the day because I loved women too much. I just didn't know how to pick the right ones, right? No, we don't hate women. We've got issues here. We have a very just issue. Just listen to what we're talking about. People go around talking about the deadbeat dad all the time.
Some men are just deadbeat dads, but majority of the time, men typically don't give up on children, but they do give up on co-parenting if the wife is too difficult.
But you got all of these dads right here that are fighting tooth and nail and want to be in their kid's life, and the system blocks them, or either says, unless you get an attorney and pay X amount of dollars, you can't get that every other weekend, dad. And I'm going to tell you, in an economy like this, we barely have enough to get groceries, let alone go give $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to some attorney that we've never met to go tell a judge that I should be in my kid's life every other weekend. That's the reality of it. And you know, when many people were not friendly, Charlie was. Even though I knew he didn't agree with everything that we were saying. Again, he had never been through it. But nowadays, you can talk about that conversation. If somebody asks what I do and I tell them about the father's rights, like, oh yeah, man, dads do get a hard time in the family courts. Oh, I got a brother that went through that, or I got a friend that went through that, and he fights tooth and nail to be in his kid's life. Man, his baby mama, oh yeah, it's bad. You know, this is back before Andrew Tate's and stuff like that. So the fact that he gave me an opportunity when not many people would, I appreciate him so much. And you know, I wish there was something more I could do. But the one thing I can say for me and for my platform, I'm not going to participate in that rhetoric, and I would ask anybody that does to stop it. Please, be better than that. Be better than that. And that's all I can do. See you guys.